place is going to be absolutely bumping. As you can see, it's already starting as the second place Bingham Wildcats gets the handoff. Boom, 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 in the pink unis, gone. And without further ado, the first ever Fox 40 hot dog eating championships. Eaters, on your marks, get set, eat. Walk me through the process of how this came to be. How did Vestal get to be kind of the home of the Section 4 championships this year?
Oh, just missed it. Just missed it.
Wes, I gotta ask, you guys say that Windsor has the best concession stands in the area. What goes into that?
Lots of
a great turnout in here. What are you hearing about voter turnout throughout the area?
Well, the turnout, at what point you're like, okay, we're good. We did our job.
As a program, as a school, so different maybe than some other schools in the area. And they've actually had options. Offensively, Vestal scoring the first play of the second half on a kick return touchdown. It's raining now too, but to come in, people cheering your name, right? People clapping, what was that? And did you really visit the Rink of Dreams without taking a shot on Barry? Hey!
Yeah, we're twins. Yeah, I guess I could have just said that. Anyways.
That rain's starting to come down, but it actually didn't affect play at all thanks to dueling starts on holes 1 and 10. Welcome back, and hey, football. Let's do some football. Snow isn't just kind of flavorful, as you can see right here. Not coming off super easy, but if you're kind of chucking it. We have a net right here. Would you mind showing me?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Instead of going up, you want to like go out and push and use your legs and step through.
So as you can see, I might not be the best learner. However, that doesn't mean Cassie isn't a great
takes over after the punt. Bellis under center, tosses to Drew Maycomer. He's out of frame, then boom! Runs a safety over, lowers the shoulder, keep it moving. Maycomer showing some grit, and he would be the one to put the exclamation point on the drive. Nobody stopping here. A 10-minute drive of all runs for the Tigers. Dick Hoover Stadium, Vestal welcoming Corning of AA. Corning will start us off on the attack here, attempting to make a run, but the ball gets loose. It's a scramble between Bears and Hogs, but Liam Neely's gonna pop up, show off the ball to the ref, turning the ball over to Vestal. Goldenbeer's on the attack now, and Jackson Hines is going for the run. Go, go, go. Hines speeding his way into the end zone for a Vestal tutty. Green and gold continuing the offensive power with the pass from Captain Cam Schaefer that will find Logan McNamara on the receiving end, setting up the Bears on the doorstop. We're going to head to the fifth kick, and the save's going to win it. Sahara Zingana lines up. She runs. She kicks. Scott blocks it, and the Bearcats are going to win the soccer game. Binghamton is moving on. BU wins 3-2 in penalty kicks and survives. They dogpile Scott, who did. Omeyer, the quarterback, takes a snap, pump fakes, lets this one sing. Brady Cannon on the receiving end. Storming through Sydney early on. Off immediately at the secondary level, rumbling and dumbling, bouncing off Wildcats before finally hitting the turf. We start in the fourth quarter. Cam Schaefer back to pass, swing the slant, but no sir. Cooper Hughes right there, one-handed snag by the linebacker. Oh my goodness, shades of last year's title game tie. Later on in the first half, the drop pass by Jamison England leaves it off for Neal. Once for the chip shot by Neal, finds the top left corner of the cage. What an absolute snipe off the side panel for the Spartans attacker. Kiara, this is high school ball. Leave that to the pros. My goodness, my Nemo takes this one 5-0 on the road.
A momentous occasion up Route 12 not too long ago as Oxford's Allie Thomas hauled in 2 passes for the Blackhawks. Despite the team's record, making history for the program and section felt like a win.
Football players come in all shapes and sizes, big and small, short and tall. And then there's number 63.
I didn't like cheer at all.
Now she's been with us for like 2-3 years now.
Meet Allie Thomas, a lifelong fan and player of football.
I just watched the game instead, and then I wanted to join.
As time went on, Thomas finished up youth and modified, and last year wanted to hang it up.
She took a year off because she wasn't sure what to do. She missed it, and she's like, I want to go back to football. I'm like, okay, let's go.
So away she went. Thomas joined winter workouts, and the Blackhawks didn't miss a beat.
I promised her mother she'd be accepted no matter what, and I'd make sure that she felt comfortable. So she started coming off-season workouts in February, and she's just been here ever since.
What Chantel and Allie didn't know was that she'd ever see the field.
I was shocked, nervous.
So come week 1, in the fourth quarter, Coach Clough came up with an idea.
I called her over, I said, Allie, I'm going to throw you the ball.
I don't really remember. It was just like super fast.
But someone who'll never forget it Mom, of course.
She caught that ball, and of course Mom was screaming as loud as she could.
And it happened again 2 weeks later in the fourth quarter versus Groton, with the crowd chanting Allie's name. And despite a loss, the Blackhawks had a lot to celebrate.
I was in tears videoing it, and you could tell I think she was happy. And she said even though it was a loss, she felt like it was a win.
Feeding, right circle, head the low shot, loose and right shot,
Hockey in Binghamton began well before the Dusters hit the ice. It started with the vision of a local businessman who had a passion for hockey, Jim Matthews.
Dad came from a hardworking family in northern Canada. When he came to the States and was working here, his first year before really starting the team, he made $6,000 his salary. You know, I think he was just a special person who had this ability to put it all on the line and take gambles and go for it, like starting hockey, having never done that.
In 1973, Matthews ushered in Binghamton's first professional hockey team, the Broome Dusters.
We often never met the owners of the other team, but Jim Matthews was hands-on, and he wanted this to be a success from day one. And I think 50 years later, he helped build the foundation for what followed after that.
Here's Roger Neal, who would become the voice of the Dusters.
What he instilled in his teams to be a part of the community and to go and attend school functions and booster club functions and be out at different appearance places. And I think that really ingrained the people with the players.
Former Dusters goalie Roger Kozar recalls just how passionate the fan base was right from the start.
We're sitting there getting undressed, the last game of the season. I could hear this noise out there. What's going on out there type thing, you know. All of a sudden Jim Matthews comes through the door. He says, the guys, get dressed, you got to go back out there. The people won't leave. And we're going, what are you talking about, you know? Never heard of something like this. He says, they're lined up along the glass in the stands, they won't leave. So we put our uniforms back on, skated out. And that was the first time I'd ever seen where the fans waited. We skated around the rink, shook hands with the fans, and that was the beginning of everything. It was just a crazy, crazy time, amazing.
Crazy and Fun was the moniker of the early days of the North American Hockey League Dusters.
Believe it was crazy. I played with some guys that were a little suspect at times, but they were all. I mean, hockey's like a family. The teams are like a family. So it was really good.
And so were the players, like NAHL leading scorer Rod Bloomfield.
He was just liked by everybody. He had that blonde hair flowing on the ice. And back then they didn't wear helmets that often, right? So everybody knew what he looked like. He was a star here in Binghamton.
Bloomfield was inducted into the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame in 1999, a year after the Hall of Fame was founded, when it inducted fellow Dusters Ken Holland, Jim Matthews, and teammate Randy McGregor.
Great goal scorer, I know.
He scored a lot on you in practice, I know.
Being a goaltender, you never back check very much to help us out in our own zone, or to Frank for that matter, but no, seriously. But no, he was a goal scorer, and obviously the stats prove that.
But how does Jim Matthews acquire such a talented player, one that would become synonymous with Binghamton hockey? Well, he didn't spare any expense.
His guys flew into where I was playing in a helicopter and landed the helicopter next to the arena that I was playing in to watch me play that game and offer me a tryout.
The ploy to get players here is Jim Matthews offered a Gold Duster car to drive, to all the players on the team. And so, at practice, we'd see all these Gold Dusters parked out there, identical.
Another reason the team was an instant success in just year two, Broome was in the finals.
I mean, we had a great team, obviously, and I just the thing I remember most is getting there and then getting blown out in 4 games, which was not good. So.
But the days of the NAHL were numbered as the 76-77 campaign came and went, and then the league folded just 10 days before first puck drop.
Jim Matthews was able to sell the team to Andre Valo, and Andre brought in the old Providence Reds, a team that had been around for 51 years in minor league hockey, one of the oldest teams in minor league hockey at that point. Brought them in, And there was already tickets sold. So the fans showed up for that first year with passion, right? They still had 90% of 90% capacity.
They embraced the team even without knowing all the ins and outs of hockey.
My first year we had summer hockey camp here in the dust, with the Dusters. Bobby Orr brought Marcel Dion and Daryl Sitwiller, who were the 3 best players in the world, and nobody in Broome County knew any of them, knew nothing about any of them. If that had happened several years later when it was the American Hockey League and hockey had been here and kind of matured, everybody would have known those top players. It'd be like Patrick Mahomes coming here today and nobody knowing him. That's what it was like at that time.
3 seasons later, 1 playoff appearance, and a lot more games from McGregor, the Binghamton Dusters finished its AHL days with a negative goal differential and winning percentage well below .500. And in 1980, the Hartford Whalers announced it would be bringing an AHL team to Broome County.
I don't think there was too much of an adjustment. I think the fans actually it took it really good. Obviously they lost some fan favorites when the transition happened, but I think people realize that's just part of hockey. So, it happens.